Thanks for choosing to watch the video. If you enjoy it, then please like and subscribe and all that stuff. I'm out here in the Lea Valley. I'm fishing for pike, and I'm doing it with dead baits and floats. In the last pike video, we were fishing with dead baits on the bottom, ledgering. What I've decided to do is I'm back on the same pit in the Lea Valley, but today I've decided to use floats. So I'm going to show you how I go about float fishing with dead baits for pike. Literally just gone out. There goes the float, look, and we hit it. There we go. How long did that take? Not long at all. Been in for 5 minutes, that. Look at that. Incredible. I was hoping to get a camera set up on the float and didn't even have time. And there we go. First one of the day on the float. This could be a good day. Whoa! I was just getting my depths, putting the sort of bait in and out because I wanted to fish it on the deck even though it's on the float. And I've been putting that sort of bait in and out for a while, just getting my depths right. And he must have been watching it all along. Because as soon as I left it put for a while, he was bang on it. Fantastic, what a start. And there you go. There's the first one of the day. Not massive, but the float had only been in the water for not even a minute. And it slid away. Absolutely magic. Could be a good day. Let's get him back. Right, this is crazy. I put it in and it's gone again. Oh, this feels like a better fish. Oh my God. I don't know that. Oh, that was crazy. Oh my God, I've put it in twice and twice it's gone straight away. Oh, I thought it slipped it then. Oh, this is insane. Absolutely insane. Oh my word. That is crazy. I've got I've got a camera that I'm wanting to put on the float, and each time I've cast the float in, I've not managed to get to the camera to switch it on before the float's gone under. Insane. I don't know if they're tucked up. There's a deep hole just next to me here. The net's still over here from the last fish. I mean, it just shows I put a dead bait out on the bottom. That's done nothing. This float, 2 fish in, I mean, I've put the float in and it's gone straight away with both of them. Incredible. I put the float back out and straight away another one. Honestly, it's not the same fish. Again, the float went out. I found a deep hole just down to my left. It's got to be about 10 or 11 foot deep, so quite deep. Right in the edge with a float and a sardine. And again, it went in less than a minute. This is crazy. So, gonna slip him back and crack on. A bit crazy here at first this morning. It's calmed down a bit now, which gives me a chance for me to take you through the float rig that I'm using. to float fish for these pike today. It's a very simple rig. As you'll have guessed by now, I like to keep things simple. First thing that I do is I slide on an inline float. I will then use one of these Korum quick change float weights, which are really great. You can just quickly change the weight, obviously. Going down to a bead, then straight into my trace. And that has got 2 semi-barbed trebles. Now, in order to set the depth, what I actually do is I tie on a piece of power gum, or float elastic if you want. And that float elastic, where it's tied on the main line, governs exactly how deep you're fishing, because the float passes up the line and it can't go past that piece of power gum. That is setting the depth. So the first thing that I did when I got here was I actually want to fish it with the bait on the bottom. So I want this weight to be on the deck and the dead bait to be just along from that weight. Then that goes straight up to the float, which I actually want to lay flat on the surface. I don't want it cocked, I actually want it flat. So first thing I did when I got here was that I kept doing the depth, I kept moving the power gum up the line until the float laid on its side. That way I know the weight's on the bottom. So I fish it over depth, and of course when a fish picks it up, starts to move, cocks and sinks under. And there's nothing like watching a float go under. It's absolutely unreal. Love it, absolutely love it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how I'm going to put on this dead bait. First thing I'm going to do is actually put my top hook in the wrist of the tail, and you should be able to feel how hard it is in that section of the fish, like so. And then the other treble I'm actually going to put in the flank of the fish. So there you go, top hooks in the wrist of the tail, next treble down in the flank of the fish. There it is. There is definitely something on that. So let's hit it. It's tricky. It's number 3. Unreal. Great sport on this float. They're having it big style here today. Let's hope we can get one of the bigger ones. Oh, it's dropped it. Flung it out. Never mind. So it's gone a little bit quiet now. The ledger rod actually hasn't done anything. All the fish have been coming to the float rod so far. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in the ledger rod and I'm going to float fish that as well. But I'm going to use this float that's got a little bit of a sail on it. I'm going to fish it slightly under depth, this one, as opposed to the other one that is on the deck, on the bottom. This one, I'm going to purposefully fish a couple of foot or so off the bottom so it can drift around the swim, you know, with the help of this sail at the top. And maybe it will search out a fish. So I'm going to get this set up in exactly the same way as the other one, but just slightly under depth, and let's see how we get on. What I'm going to show you, I haven't tied on the power gum yet, so I'm going to show you exactly how I do that knot with the power gum, because it's the power gum that's going to actually set the depth at which I'm fishing. And like I say, with this one, I want to be fishing a couple of foot off the bottom, so under depth. So I'll show you that now. Right, so get your power gum. And I want about 6 inches of that, so let's cut 6 inches of power gum. Then I want to get my main line. I'm already about 6 foot up the main line from the dead bait. I know it's at least 6 foot out there. In fact, I'm going to set it for 8. But once I put this knot on, I'm going to be able to slide it up and down the line. So, first thing, get the power gum run it parallel with the main line. Okay, you're going to make a loop. So now you've got something, it's a bit tricky to show you, but now you've got something like that. So you've got your main line, it was parallel, but you've actually made a loop in the power gun. Then what you do is with this tag end, you're just going to go through that loop so that you're wrapping it around the power gun and the main line. Can you see? And I'm going to do that about half a dozen times, like so. So you end up with something like that. And I'm just going to pull it tight, going to wet it, keep pulling it, keeping the main line tight and the power gun, and you'll see it just comes down into a knot. Something like that. And that's it. You just got to trim off the tag ends. And I do leave some tag ends. They don't bother me. That's what I kind of want. That's absolutely fine. Now, some people do use float stops, and I get that. It's not a problem with that, really. I actually still prefer to use power gum. Power gum comes through the eyes of the rod a little bit nicer, and onto the spool if need be. And then when you cast, it's going to come back out through the eyes nice and smoothly because it's quite soft and rubbery. It's power gum, as opposed to a float stop, which I think possibly doesn't come through the eyes. So there we go. That's how you do your stop knot. When you're using the drift method, hook them horizontally. I'm going to get it out in the swim now, see if that makes a difference. Right, I've had this drifting around out in front of me and nothing's happening. Just going to try out here in this margin, see if there's anything there. It's quite a lot shallower there, I think. Something roll over the back there. I don't know if I can reach it with this, to be honest. Let's have a go. Yes. Right. Let's see if that's something that fancies a sardine. Okay, so I've just taken this sardine off and replaced it with a roach. But I'm not going to waste this. I'm going to chop this up. I'm going to put it out in the margin next to my other float to see if it actually draws some pike into the area.
It's a strange affection. It's too much to ask for. It's too much to ask for.
I think I'm going to bring in the float that I've got drifting around the swim, and it's got a smelt on it at the moment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little bit deeper, which is great. You know, that's a good thing about that one. It's a couple of foot off the bottom, a few feet off the bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move that power gum up the line slightly, and that's going to make it fish slightly deeper. So I'm going to switch things up, fish a little bit deeper with that one. I'm going to take the smelt off, and I've got some bait box roach here. So let's put one of those on and see if that makes a difference. So what I've just done then, and this is what's quite good about floats, is that I've literally just brought it in by a couple of yards, no, a few yards, and then just left it there. And you can do that with a float every 45 minutes, an hour. Just bring it in slightly, you know, and that way you just sort of explore the whole swim in front of you. Yeah, it's a cast to the far bank, leave it there, give it 45 minutes, bring it in a bit. Right, something on the other rod. Just seen that float dip. Yeah, look, there it goes. Oh, I don't need it. There we go. Look at that, incredible. Whoa, it's a bit slippy. Go. It's another one. Oh, he looks like a fat one. Smashing. was just talking about the float on the right, and I saw the float on the left go. Fantastic. Oh, he's very lightly hooked. Let's bring him in very gently. Oof, he is lightly hooked. Ah, but he's mine. Fantastic. So, just getting the camera ready. I noticed the other float was going. Yeah, there is something on that, I think. I'm going to hit it just in case. Yep. Yep. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, so don't know what I'm going to do now. I've got one in the net and I've got one on the rod. Unreal. I just noticed, just getting the camera ready, I just noticed out of the corner of my eye the other float went. Unreal. God dear. So that is loopy. Feels like quite a good fish, this one as well. Yeah, this one's going a bit better. Let's hope it stays on, this one. I changed float to a pencil float, you might be able to see that. I don't think they liked it on the drift. Yeah, he's a nice thick fish. See if I can get him in with the other one. Oh my God. So there you have it. We now have two in the net at once. Crazy. Right, let's get these sorted out. Crazy couple of minutes. I was just getting the camera ready for this one and the other one bust off at the same time. Unreal. And there you go. Can you believe it? Well, how about that? Whew, that's a crazy 10 minutes. Well, we just had a crazy half hour. That seems to be the pattern sometimes when you're pike fishing. Periods of inactivity, and then suddenly they come on the feed. And that's exactly what happened then. So yeah, two at once. Crazy. I was just talking you through the method I'm doing with, you know, I got rid of that drift float. That wasn't happening for whatever reason. They just didn't want it off the deck. They wanted it nailed down. So I changed the second float rod to fishing on the bottom, but with a float. And what I'm doing is I'm casting both floats to the back of the swim and I'm working them forward towards me. So every 20 minutes I'll bring them about a metre towards me, and I'll do that, sort of fan casting them, bringing them a metre towards me, covering lots and lots of the swim. Yeah, I was just talking you through it, and out the corner of my eye I saw the other float go. This is why, you know, you've got to have your wits about you slightly. I saw the float go, hit it, got the fish in, it was in the net. I was just getting the camera ready. I took the hooks out in the net, was getting the camera ready, take some pictures, and again I'm keeping half an eye on the other float, which is really important. You've got to do that. And I noticed it go. So yeah, crazy. Hit that, got it in, two at once. Unreal. Oh my God, look at the state of me. Oh, that is the only thing about winter fishing, isn't it? Look. Mud everywhere. never mind. I'm not going to complain. Happy days. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to give it, to be honest. Got a teenage daughter sitting at home waiting for a driving lesson. I'll give it another hour. Hopefully we'll get another. I'd like to finish the session on something big. That would be good, wouldn't it? But possibly a bit greedy. But we've had 4 fish. That's her texting me now. Where are you? I want to go driving. Okay, right, so really probably I've only got an hour. I'll text her, smooth it over, and hopefully we'll get that lunker. If we don't, then wow, what a magic little session on floats. So thanks again for watching the video. It's been a great day, but I think that's me done now. We've had a few pike, which is great. I've been able to show you how I use floats. Hopefully that's been useful to someone. If you did enjoy it, then please like and subscribe and all that stuff. Not sure what I'll be fishing for next. I quite fancy a carp out the river before the end of the season. Or I might get back onto the perch. You know, it's an itch that won't go away, that one. Until then, enjoy your fishing and be lucky.